So hey, Danny here with another Dogecast. This time we start on Japan, go from east to west like the first time. So anyway, Japan has said nothing to do this session except eat AI and unite Japan. Form Japan, should have stayed independent daimyo, which is his choice. He has devved both institutions, which is relatively good, but he hasn't devved anything else at all. He went conquer the eco, which is pretty good for deving. Also for expanding against AI, but seems like he will have trouble contending with Chinese players next session when North China opens. I think it will be next session, I'm not sure. But him and Hexy should be able to take them on. It's a strong army, and he's in a very safe position. He has built some protection buildings, but he should build, for example, these ones still just pay themselves back. Try to pay your debt off. You don't want to get stuck in debt. That just ends inevitably with bankruptcy. Anyways, let's move on to Hexy. So Hexy is a horde. Got a good horde unity, and he hasn't done anything. I think he's gotten his institutions from Japan. He hasn't been able to expand into North China because it's closed. Yeah. I believe he took one province and has just been taking money and stuff from China. And just looting them. I don't think he's been raising provinces since he's not allowed to take them. Anyways, next session you should definitely focus on invading China. He's already used this mission up for the... It doesn't get to the good general, but... Yeah, he's already used this mission for shock damage and more of armies and manpower recovery speed and the siege ability. Yeah, you can see he took Beijing, but then returned it because he wasn't allowed to hold it. And he should try to expand quickly into China, since he has to contend with Ning and Changsheng, who are both players and are working together. His ideas are looking good, but he should try to get to admin tech 10 as quickly as possible to take quality ideas, so we can get that extra discipline and combat ability. And he should be able to take over China pretty easily with the help of Japan. So Ning hasn't been able to expand a lot this session because North China is closed. So I believe they've been deving. These two, for example. I don't see why you would be deving mountains, but I mean that's pretty retarded. Yeah, there's nothing good about those. Yeah, he's only dead a little, so sorry for calling you retarded, man. Has he devved at all? Not really, no. You should focus on... Yeah, you should focus on deving. Especially these farmlands provinces that are bunted in China. Since you can't play white and you have to scale, you need to use dip and military dev to be able to contend with rival nations. So he went to content the eco wall, which is pretty good, but he hasn't finished any of them. best policy. He gets policies from finishing them. That's what he needs to do. He just needs to get those 5% discipline and land force limit and the development cost. You need to be able to fight Haixi and Japan. So your economy is really strong. You could easily, once you get the last quantity idea, you can double your army and hold it like that. You can afford that. You should just be able to expand north and try to Haixi and kill them. It'll be harder to kill Japan, but once you kick him off the mainland, it's pretty easy, since he won't be able to scale as effectively as you and your ally. So you build protection buildings everywhere and manpower buildings everywhere, which is great. I mean, amazingly done. Your max manpower is 66, which is amazing. You're looking pretty strong for northward expansion. Anyways, on to Changsha. Changsha is allied with Ning. He's also in a very strong position, but he hasn't been using his states very effectively. Should have put burgers here and for the extra trade power, and here you eat it though, which is very nice. So you want eco quantity call. It's best to open with a military idea, since you can play wars. Your deving I have to say, has been horrible. Like, look at these provinces. There's only been 2 institutions so far you've had with dev. And why are you deving these provinces so much? You have farmlands provinces here, you can dev. See, this one is 29 dev cost. Well, deving this is 81. I don't know why to do it. But while your ally would expand in north, you should expand south if you're allowed. I think the region is closed. So you'll have to focus on playing tall, and that means efficient deving. So not deving provinces this much already. Ideally do that when you get universities, or just skip it. So you get prosperity in every state. So you're pretty well set up from deving. Just get your burgers to loyal, and you have your position, yeah. And you can pretty efficiently dev China. So next is Ethiopia. No, Mushashasha. So Mushashasha has made some friends this last session since Yemen died, and he's taking defensive religious. I mean, that will work if he only focuses on stacking morale. Then he is able to contend with a high discipline, but it won't be as effective, and your scaling won't be as good since you can't dev as efficiently. Just try to get to admin tech 10 as quick as possible to get the extra idea group, and ideally you would go quality, then eco, then quantity. But I think Persia is open. Yeah, so you should focus on expanding more into Persia, really. You haven't had any player source this session, I believe, and you should easily expand more into AI, which you haven't done. you use your states, and you should put the burger on Baghdad for extra trade power, and ideally upgrade the trade centers. Ideally, no, you should just do that. Put a burger here. Here, upgrade trade centers. Integrate your vassals as quick as possible. Maybe not Nash. That land is worthless. It's just that cheap. We can't have that. Pay off your loans. Yeah, just expand more into AI. There's not much more I can say about Mushashasha. Wait. So you see they've all got a Coptic, which I would say is retarded, but they can meme if they want. This is not a competitive game. Sunni or Shia is much better. But you guys do you. So Ethiopia has had a free game ever since they killed Yemen, and they should have that, which I don't believe they have a lot. No. Yeah, I think they're gonna go colonizing, it seems, in Africa and maybe Asia. I don't believe they're gonna go for North America yet, but they should try to build production buildings everywhere, and then build eco buildings like production and manufacturers if you can. Then try to go for the manpower and force limit buildings, and then you'll scale pretty good. And once you unlock universities at Tech 17, pretty easy for you that. You should try to catch up with Tech. Ideally get to Admin Tech 10. Embrace the institutions. Save up money. While you're not at war, just keep your army mothballed, since you can make more money with it. You can hire more advisors and you can pay off your debts. Except Yemeni culture, I would recommend, and just expand more into Africa. You should try to reach the gold bronzes down here in Mutapa, and when India opens, you can expand into India. So we have Jerusalem. Wait, Ethiopia is called the expansion. So try to take eco next for more efficient deving, and then quantity. Yeah. So all the Middle East players are Coptic. And Jerusalem is no exception. I believe they went bankrupt next session. They have low economy. They don't make anything from trade. Just feed more than Mamluks. He doesn't have much to expand more than former Mamluk territory. So Salim should really, yeah, he went quantity eco, so he can dev more efficiently. If he wants to expand, he'll, like, I believe at the end